Everyone on this podcast is already dead. I'm just trying to save harmless phosphorescence. Hello, everybody. This is Dick Splash, Thoreau Smiley. Who's joining me this week?
I'm Josh Cece, and I would never use my powers to paint a farmhouse.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I think I might be afraid of this movie because I certainly don't understand it.
I'm Jimmy Reed, and I will find him.
I'm Alaric Weber. Make my voice an island.
I will, Al. I do. Sometimes I just play you on a loop to sleep at night.
Yeah, Al songs, like whale songs.
Al's song by Elton John. I hope you don't
Al
mind, Al.
covering whale songs.
This is Harmless Phosphorescence. It's the podcast where we watch every theatrically released full-length live-action superhero movie ever made. Also, I can't speak. Then we gather some research into the production and the source material, and we tell you all about it. This show is brought to you by our patrons like executive producers Michael Beckwith and Atticus Burkett. You want to be a patron too? Go to patreon.com/harmlessentertainment. We got lots of bonus material there, monthly movies. We're going to have Roadhouse coming out in a couple of weeks here, hopefully. And yeah, woot woot. Let's,
doesn't Michael Beckwith have a podcast?
No, he has a blog. He's got
a blog. Gotcha.
Mike, he's gonna kill me. It's late night movie, something like that. What was that one that used to be on like TBS at nights? They had like their overnight, it's named after that. But you should I'll put a link. I'll find a link, put it in the show notes. From our executive producer Michael Beckwith. But in the meantime, everybody, this week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching Man of Steel.
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small. Focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it?
I see it.
My son was in the bus. He saw what Clark did.
You have to keep this side of yourself a secret.
What was I supposed to do? Just let him die?
Maybe. I have so many questions. Where do I come from? You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark. Whoever that man is, he's going to change the world.
If the world found out who I really was, it'd reject me. He was convinced that the world wasn't ready. What do you think?
Man of Steel.
I feel like
Man of Steel.
My Heart Must Go On was in the trailer music for a moment.
Right.
It had some Titanic vibes for sure.
Yeah.
That was
I
definitely
supposed to cry at the trailer.
Oh, I think so. That was definitely from another movie. I'm curious which one it was. Man of Steel. did anyone else, when they first saw the trailer, like think that this was in the Nolan verse, especially with Christopher Nolan's name as a producer? Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was like a shared universe.
I thought it was too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Man of Steel was released June 14th, 2013, with a running time of 143 minutes. It cost $258 million, and it took in $668 million. It was a hit. It made its money. It wasn't like Avengers level, but it did pretty good. A note that $258 million, 160 million of it was from advertisers. IHOP, Sears, Canon, or was it Nikon? Might have been Nikon. They had over 100 branded partners. If you watch the credits, you can read what they all were.
Wow.
But Super Properties has a history of that.
Yeah.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC.
And then Popeyes, a quick left turn to Popeyes and Supergirl.
Right. Yeah.
That's the most American thing about this movie, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It did have the world's weirdest IHOP commercial in it.
It did, because it was kind of like, hey, wouldn't it be crazy if you grew up to be an IHOP manager? Wouldn't that suck for you?
And then be a snitch.
And then get attacked by aliens.
Mm-hmm. The snitch thing, we'll get to that, man.
Yeah.
I guess that hadn't gotten to Kansas yet, but you see a kid do that and you immediately run and tell.
Right.
Well,
If you'd seen a drug deal go bad, you wouldn't.
Before we move on from the advertising thing, one funny advertising thing that is totally unrelated to this, but this kind of started the trend I saw, was like a couple years after this, in a Transformers movie, there's a sequence where like a Budweiser truck crashes and like Mark Wahlberg steps out of a Transformer and picks up a Budweiser and like takes a slow sip.
Oh no.
With like panning camera angles. And I was like, this is where that started.
Just staring down the camera lens the entire time, just asserting his dominance.
Nice cool Bud.
You will drink Bud Light, bro.
There was that.
We got the message.
The Miami Vice reboot from a few years ago. They had a Subway branding, which, by the way, the best advertising in any show ever has to be in Community with Subway. But they literally have a character named Subway.
TM,
yeah, and he comes like the Subway army shows up, like eat fresh. But
that episode's hilarious, but listen, I could talk.
But Miami Vice just paused for like 3 minutes in an episode to talk about Subway at one point. It was hilarious.
Wow.
So
there was no Subway in Superman, though.
No, there was not.
Even Garth made it the joke.
Yeah.
Already.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Little yellow, different.
So this movie was released June 13th, 2013. I'm sorry, June 14th, 2013, which means that we are going to be talking about the box office top 10 game. Yeah. Here it is, everybody. Yeah. The game where I will describe the top 10 movies of the week of June 14th, 2013. The guys here are going to try to guess what movie I'm describing. I think we can all assume Man of Steel came in number one. No reason to guess where that opened. At this point, the big block. Yeah. So did I. Yep. But we're going to start at number 10. You guys ready to jump into the game?
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. At number 10 this week, when a rich man's world is torn apart by a terrorist, he has to rebuild and seek retribution.
The Dark Knight Rises.
No.
That was my guess.
What?
That was like 2 years ago, Al.
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Christmas in July. Or around whenever that was.
Yeah.
This week.
Christmas on June 14th. Number 9. A crash landing leaves a boy and his father stranded. They must embark on a perilous journey to signal for help.
After Earth.
Yo, yeah, good one, Jeremy. You get one Smith point, which you can redeem at any of our local Smith's outlets.
How many do I need to get Hancock 2 made?
A lot more than Will Smith is willing to.
Yeah, he had a lot of points on that.
Yeah, because wow, that movie made a lot of money, and I cannot believe they haven't made a sequel yet.
Nope.
Yeah. Number 8 this week. After the crew of a ship find a unstoppable force of terror from within their own organization, the captain has to lead a manhunt to a war zone to capture a one-man weapon of mass destruction.
Star Trek Into Darkness?
Yes. Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's in that?
Yeah, he played Khan.
Yeah.
Cumberbatch played Khan.
Oh, you're right, he did.
This is the one throughout all the marketing. They were like, no, he's not Khan.
Of course not. Except he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I wasn't in the batch as much then. It was after that I got way into
into the batch. You started batching.
Yeah, good batch, sure enough.
I used to cumber a bit, but I haven't batched in a long time.
Well, get back on the floor.
Takes a strong man to admit it, Thoreau.
I know.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 7. Okay, I am unfamiliar with this. A teenager finds herself transported to a deep forest setting where a battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil is taking place. That is so vague. She bands together with a ragtag group of characters in order to save the world. That could be any movie.
Yeah.
But deep forest.
A forest.
Key.
Yeah,
Hunger Games 12.
No, it looks. I believe it is animated.
She's like an environmentalist from Portland. And it's Fern Gully. Yep. Jeremy, I know.
Fern Gully 2, Fern Gollier. I know a few guys that are into Fern Gollies, and they're a weird. It's a weird subculture.
Plant fairies?
It's called Epic. This
it's
movie
called
is
what?
called
Epic?
Epic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was unfamiliar with this.
What?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Got like a bird in it and shit.
Probably.
Probably talks.
Yeah.
Probably voiced by like Liam Neeson or something.
Oh God. Yeah. Either Liam Neeson or they're going the other way and it's voiced by like Adam Sandler.
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah. Number 6. He's like, I never tip. Number 6.
You fucking bird. Yeah.
2 salesmen whose careers have been torpedoed by the digital age find their way into a coveted job at Google where they must compete with a group of young tech-savvy geniuses for a shot at long-term employment.
This is a Vaughn Wilson.
Yeah.
It was not
the
close.
Yeah, that was a Bob De Niro. Was the
internship?
Oh,
what a fine
Which
ship
is
it
not,
is. A bonny
it is,
ship indeed.
The internship is sails alongside the friendship.
Yep.
The thing that was funny about that movie is they had filmed it like 8 years before it actually released. So like there's all these references in it that are so dated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, a tech movie that was like held for 8 years. That's got to be great. Number 5. A wealthy family is held hostage for harboring the target of a murderous syndicate during a very special night.
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? God, it's me, Margaret.
Panic Room 2? Party Room?
No. It's this is the first in a very popular series. The most recent was just released this year.
Oh, is this? No, this is not a Fast and Furious movie.
No, not a Fast and Furious movie. It is the a horror film, the horror genre.
Saw?
Oh,
not Saw.
Conjuring?
Purge?
The Purge, yes.
Oh.
Purging ain't easy.
They're still making those.
Yeah,
Every which
apparently they haven't purged.
Yeah, every which way but Purge.
Yeah, there's like an Old West one I think I saw.
Really?
What the Forever
A
Purge?
thumbnail for it didn't
the,
click.
the,
Oh,
the
is that it?
Forever
Yeah.
Purge. It's like set in a little western town, and then like, yeah.
It sounds like a tennis bracelet or diamond necklace you'd buy.
The Forever
Purge.
What will you
And
get
yes,
her
they
on
are
Purge
blood
night?
diamonds.
He went to Jared. Then he went and got a shotgun.
Number 3, this movie, okay. An FBI agent and an Interpol detective track a team who pull off bank heists using their performance skills.
Is this the sequel to Now You See Me?
No, this is just Now You See Me.
Are they magical people or are they magicians?
They're
Now You See Me. He just
yeah, Now You See Me.
Yeah.
And again, the fact that they did not name the sequel Now You Don't will forever haunt me.
I just wish it had been stand-up comedians instead of magicians.
That would have been great. Doing small rooms in Vegas.
Who are these dumb motherfuckers that aren't putting their heads down on the floor? Number 2 this week. 6 LA celebrities are stuck in James Franco's house.
This
is the end, yeah.
Yeah, that movie. That movie.
I
was
love that
great.
movie.
Yeah. Channing Tatum, especially.
Michael Cera and
Michael
Rihanna.
Cera.
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael Cera and Rihanna. That was
We're playing a game, Jason.
Yeah, apparently, what's her face? Hermione.
Oh yeah, Emma Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson. Like, she's fairly heavily featured in this, but apparently there were a few scenes she refused to shoot because she found them so offensive.
It's fair.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love when Dan McBride cuts to the confession. He's like, so Hermione stole all our shit.
Oh, Danny McBride. And number 1, an alien child is evacuated from his dying world and sent to Earth to live with humans.
Titan never quite gets it. Titan AE.
Titan AE. Yeah, man.
Moses in space.
And that is our box office top 10. That brings us to our comic and character background. Are there any characters, Mr. Alaric Weber, that we haven't previously spoken about?
There may be several. The one that caught my notice was Emil Hamilton. Professor Emil Hamilton. He first appeared in Adventures of Superman number 424 back in January of 1987.
Is he played by the guy from The West Wing?
Yes.
In this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy.
When he first appeared, he was an apparent villain, using his gadgets to attack Superman in an attempt to gain funding by proving that they worked.
It's like we're having a tech expo. Nah.
He was a former employee of Star Labs, and let's see, he was placed in a mental health facility. I think this was after attacking Superman with his gadgets, and he got better.
He got better.
He got better. He ended up becoming Superman's.
Right there.
He ended up becoming Superman's scientific advisor, and was responsible for creating many devices to aid Superman, such as the Phantom Zone projector, early Superman robots. I forgot that there were Superman robots.
There were
a force field belt he created for Superman, and other things. The character has been portrayed in like the Superman animated series,
Mm-hmm.
the Timverse.
Yes. Bruce Timm.
We've seen the character in Smallville, and I didn't do a lot of extensive research into him because I'm lazy this week.
Oh, it sounds like you put a good effort in.
I would the IHOP manager guy apparently was also a comic character.
Yes, true. Pete Ross was. I'm sorry, I didn't look it up. So I know Pete Ross most from Smallville, and he was Clark's best friend.
What did he do for work?
Yes.
Did he man an IHOP?
No, they were high school students.
Oh, maybe he just was the busser at IHOP.
No,
they were high school students for the 12 years it ran.
The Pete from the show was way more promising and had a better future ahead of him than this.
Oh, yes.
If you watch Smallville.
Yeah. I fell off like around season 3 or 4 of Smallville, but yeah.
Fell off
definitely
at the right time.
Character.
Smallville fell off around
then. Yeah.
Season 3 or 4. I don't know. I watched it all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's like when you start to catch up, when the timeline starts to catch up, you have to figure out what to do. I was noticing that yesterday, looking for something to watch on Netflix, and that show Turn about like spies in the Revolutionary War, and I immediately thought like that's got to end, right? How many seasons
can there be, right? Yeah. All right. So yeah, speaking of is that what we got this week, Al?
That's all I have for you, Thoreau. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. No, Al. It's never all you have. You give us everything you have every week. That brings us to the production. Speaking of Smallville, what's his face? So what was who was Clark in that? Tom something?
Tom Welling.
Tom Welling did campaign to play Superman in this film. He did not get the role. I wanted to real quickly to start doing taglines. So any idea what the tagline for this movie was?
Oh man.
Every movie has an official tagline, and we haven't been talking about them, but we probably should have because some of them are insane.
He's super, man.
Dads again.
Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior, Kal-El?
So, for instance, the first Superman was that the tagline was
You'll believe a man.
Believe a man can fly, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So the tagline, the official tagline for Man of Steel is "Accomplish Wonder," which sounds like it should be the tagline for like accomplish wonder.
That's like a tablet sales pitch.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the tagline for the new iPad.
Magic Emporium,
produced by Sharper Image.
Accomplish wonder. So
I don't feel like they did accomplish wonder.
Yeah,
he was not a whimsical Kal-El or Clark.
No, he was not. There was no wonder.
I captured no wonder.
Oh God. So all right. This film was directed by Zach Snyder. We have discussed him previously on Watchmen. We're not going to get too deep into his stuff. It was written by David S. Goyer.
Yep, nobody else can.
Yeah.
Yep, only Goyer can write movies, apparently, about superheroes.
He's the only one allowed on the lot.
There's a story credit by Christopher Nolan, so we can blame Zack Snyder only so much. Christopher Nolan, a big chunk of this movie
was made in 1970.
Was from the brain of... What's that?
What story? What story is he taking credit for?
It's
almost it's a remake, essentially.
Yeah, it's essentially a remake
of movies.
Of Superman 1 and 2 put together. Absolutely.
Which Donner made. So why doesn't he get a credit?
Yeah. So all right. Yeah. Yeah, no. The story is what it is. But Henry did win the Superman lottery. they started developing this in 2008 during the right after Superman Returns tanked, but Batman or The Dark Knight did very well. They let's see, they decided to treat Superman Returns like the Hulk, apparently. Ang Lee's Hulk. They decided to make a trilogy. They were going to hire Matthew to do it. But then they were going to hire Charlie Cox to play Superman. Matthew Vaughn wanted Charlie Cox to play Superman.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap. Is he tall enough?
No.
I don't know.
No. He's like
small
5'9".
Yeah.
I do like Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah.
Henry Cavill's great. Henry Cavill, I think, was the best part of the movie personally. But
By far.
But anyways, at some point after The Dark Knight, they decided to dump Matthew Vaughn. They started talking to Guillermo Del Toro about it. But because Goyer had worked with Guillermo Del Toro on Blade 2, but Guillermo Del Toro turned it down. At that point, they approached several people: Matt Reeves, Tony Scott, Aronofsky. Darren Aronofsky comes up in this show a lot. Of like someone wanted him to direct a superhero movie, and he was like, "No, I'm going to make a movie about a tree."
Yeah, but they took a lot of swings at that guy. You're right.
Yeah. He would have made the weirdest superhero movie.
Absolutely.
There had been
amazing.
He had been in the talks for Doctor Strange with Joaquin Phoenix as Strange.
That would have been interesting.
Yeah, that would have. And thank God Guillermo Del Toro. I bet Del Toro would not have won an Oscar. Like, it would have changed his trajectory. Even if he did a good job. But
absolutely,
probably would have tanked. Anyway.
Yeah. So eventually it went to Zach Snyder, Christopher Nolan, and David Goyer wrote it. And here we are. Henry Cavill auditioned numerous times. He got the role. He actually auditioned for Superman during Superman Returns. Didn't get it then, but he got it here. Brendan Routh apparently lobbied hard to reprise the role, but they wanted a fresh start. Henry Cavill got his start on The Tudors, that Showtime show from the mid-2000s. That was his biggest. He's a British dude. That was his biggest role prior to this. He was also in Stardust. That's
Matthew Vaughn.
Directed by Matthew Vaughn from the Neil Gaiman book.
They've always wisely gotten a not so known super.
They have.
It's always been smart. I'm glad they've always done that.
My personal opinion, Cavill's the best Superman since Reeve. I mean, he did a great job.
He plays every man really well.
Yeah, he does.
He plays quiet, angry very well.
Oh yeah. Well, this is definitely the most wrathful Superman.
Yes.
The
most important thing he does in this movie, as far as any development to Kal-El.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a weirdo.
Yes.
Fucking alien.
He is. Yeah. He is a weirdo. Amy Adams played Lois Lane. Let's see. Her big break was playing Cousin Beth in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. No, that was not her big break. She was
on The Office for a minute.
She was in that. Oh yeah, she was on The Office. She was in Buffy. Norman Reedus was in the same episode of Buffy she was in. Her big break was actually Drop Dead Gorgeous in '99. Yeah. She was in Catch Me If You Can. Enchanted was what really got her well known. Yeah. American Hustle she was in. Since then, did she get an Oscar for Arrival? I feel like she got an Oscar for something.
She's gotten.
She definitely got nominated for Arrival, and she got nominated for Julia and Julia.
That's right.
Let us not forget. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say Julia and Julia really didn't need to have the Julia part. It could have just been Julia. I
thought it was like the two Jakes kind of thing.
No, but seriously, the Julia Childs part was all I needed. I didn't need the Amy Adams part. Anyways, what were you saying now?
I was going to say, let's not forget that she was the voice of Polly in Underdog.
Oh my God, that's right.
That's true.
Oh my God.
Was that his love interest?
Yeah, that was the girl dog that he was in love with. All right. So
I thought that movie was a fever dream. You had to bring it back.
Yeah.
Michael Shannon playing General Zod.
My God.
He got a best. Yeah.
Yeah, great casting if you ask me, but
he was good.
Terrible writing for Zod.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Well, and Michael Shannon said that he, as far as he was concerned, this was kind of an Anthony Hopkins deal. No acting required.
Just yell.
Yeah, just be angry. Now I'm gonna say I'm gonna get him, and then I'm gonna go get him.
He was more laughable than Terrence Stamp, who I feel was supposed to be laughable at times.
Yeah.
Pocket snakes and shit.
Pocket snakes. Yeah, let us not forget this is the return of the Zod Squad.
Yep.
So Michael Shannon, he got nominated for a couple Oscars, one for Revolutionary Road, one for Nocturnal Animals. That was after this. He does a lot of like serious movies.
He was great.
However,
I mean, yeah.
However, his film debut was in Groundhog Day.
Incredible.
Huh.
What?
Yeah. I don't remember who he played.
Can be truly terrifying.
Yeah, he can be terrifying. Absolutely.
We saw him in Jonah Hex.
Oh, that's right.
I was reading a thing about him when I was sort of reading about the movie, and he apparently in theater school used to understudy every male role of every production they were doing. So even if he didn't get a role, if somebody dropped out, he was just always there and ready to jump in.
That's awesome.
He's like, you can't stop the Shan man. Kevin Costner plays Jonathan Kent.
Yep.
And he's Kevin Costner. I'm not going to go into him. He's Kevin Costner. If you don't know who Kevin Costner is, then
he was the postman.
Yeah,
he was Bull Durham.
The best of his films.
Yep.
He had a field full of dreams. He
lived
in a water world.
He danced with wolves.
He did.
He's done so much. He protected.
He had a tin cup.
Whitney.
He chose the president.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes, he did choose the president in JFK.
Well, no, swing vote.
Swing vote. He did. JFK. He went after the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, which explains Waterworld. Diane Lane.
Yeah, it's a quick jump. I was just gonna say that though. I've never seen it. I hear that show Yellowstone is pretty good, but I haven't checked it out. But honestly, I could have just watched a movie with Mom, Pa Kent, Diane Lane, Kevin Costner.
Yeah,
it was fine.
Totally.
It was fine with them. Then we would go off to Amy Adams, and I'd be like, "Damn, wish we're on that farm still."
Yeah. Speaking of Ma Kent, we got Diane Lane as Ma Kent.
Thanos' ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's currently married. No, she's not currently married. She was married to
Highlander.
to Christopher Nolan or Christopher Lambert. Yeah.
Lambert. Yes.
Lambert.
The Highlander.
Yeah. Let's see. She was in Streets of Fire. That movie. I have to watch that again someday. It's this weird fever dream from my childhood.
She was a child actor, right?
Yeah, she was Outsiders, Rumblefish, a bunch of S.E. Hinton movies that's done by Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, the Brat Pack.
She was in a bunch of Coppola stuff. Cotton Club Jack. She was also in 1992's Night Moves. She was in Judge Dredd. Murder at 1600s, The Perfect Storm. Must love dogs.
Yes, she must. She must.
She must. Additionally, we've got let's see, Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White.
Fishboard.
He was born. He was
You've
born
done that
with a
before.
Fish. I know. He is the Fishborn. The first.
He comes on the king tide.
Lawrence Fishburne is Perry White. Let's see. Anche Trau is the lady that was supposed to the Zod Squad lady. Feora Uhl is her name, but we don't need to actually know.
Was that her name in Superman 2?
No.
Oh yeah, hasn't it always been Feora?
It wasn't Feora in Superman 2, I don't think.
Because Ursa felt like it was like
in the comic books, it is Feora.
Well, there is a Feora, but the Superman 2 role was not Feora.
Like
it was like a made for the movie character. Ayelet Zurer, Ayelet Zurer as Laura Lorvan. That's what? Lara Lorvan is Kal-El's mom's, I assume, her maiden name, because
maybe they have a child out of. Maybe Kryptonians don't get married. I have so many questions about this.
Right? Yes, many questions. Christopher Maloney as Colonel Nathan Hardy, best known as the guy that once replied to a tweet of mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was that show where he had the bunny, or was it a bunny? There was some animated character. Happy.
Oh,
yeah.
Happy. Yeah. Oh, I love that show.
Yeah. Someone on Twitter mentioned it, and I said I hadn't watched it yet. And Christopher Maloney.
Oh, you keep freezing them.
And he replied to my tweet, "Hey, I'm sorry, Christopher. I'll watch your show."
I think Zach Snyder should do a TED Talk on how you can make Christopher Maloney unentertaining.
Oh my God!
I didn't know you could.
Yeah, this man did try to knife fight a Kryptonian, though. So
I guess it is a good day to die, or whatever his dumb fucking line.
I will fight no more forever.
Yeah,
he's Gordon on the Harley Quinn cartoon, right?
Yes, he is, and he's
very
funny. Yeah.
Oh God, I love Gordon on that.
Yeah.
Russell Ira Crowe. His middle name's Ira. As Jor-El. He's Russell Crowe.
I love that man, and he couldn't have been lamer because of Goyer or Nolan or Snyder. Somebody made him boring.
His best parts were as a ghost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
not even
I can give you new information.
But he can.
I know.
He gives new information constantly, and he's a hologram.
He introduces himself to Lois.
It's like, how does he know that?
Yeah, how did he design that feature?
How did he know who Lois Lane was?
Right.
How did this hologram know who Lois Lane was?
And that shit was trustworthy.
Plugged into the internet.
It's a series of
He Googled her?
So, I have so many questions about this, but is he coming from Clark's body?
I don't know.
He's coming from the thumb drive, the Superman thumb drive.
Yeah, the Kryptonian chip is just all projector. The whole thing is a projector.
But is it like
interacts
communicating with Clark's physiological body parts to get information? That was my takeaway from that. I was like, is that what the technology is? That's because that's neat, but
they do have a lot of weird. The Kryptonians have a lot of weird, crunchy biomechanical stuff in this movie.
Yeah,
which was an interesting choice.
They based most of their technology on those little things you put on your desk, and you could put your handprint in it.
The needle.
It was very Borg-esque. Yeah.
I just wish we could have got Russell Crowe reading some of those old Brando lines.
It would have been a lot better.
That would have been fun.
Drunk Brando.
Yep. Scientist, lawyer.
Scientist,
well, and then
lawyer.
you learn Olympic diver also.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Oh God. So all right, we've got rounding out the cast. We got a bunch of people. Henry Lennox as General Swanwick. let's see, Christina Wren as Carrie Ferris, Captain Carrie Ferris. Richard Schiff as Dr. Emil Hamilton. Carla Gugino as the voice of Kellor, the Kryptonian AI service robot.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Carla Gugino.
Yeah, I like her.
This Boy's Life, True Beverly Hills, Night at the Museum. Yeah. So that's most of our cast there. I don't really know. There's not much else to say about the production. They made this movie. They were planning on making a trilogy. Instead, they went straight into Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe not. Alessandro Giuliani. He was Officer Sikowski in this. One of the army guys. He was the actor who portrayed Dr. Emil Hamilton on Smallville.
Oh, interesting.
It was.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That is interesting. Thanks, Al. This movie has 56% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know if you guys remember this guy, but the Purim guy showed up. He posts anonymously, but he always mentions Purim. This isn't the Superman I know. This isn't the Superman I know. I had to leave because my mom called me for Purim. We saw him on We saw him on Dark Knight before.
Yeah, Nolan Burgers? No, different guy.
No. Yeah, the Purim guy, not the Nolan Burgers guy.
Purim. Yeah.
Let's see. Molv writes, powerful and moving. One of my all-time favorites. The liberal corporate critics are just triggered by Superman being a Christ allegory.
Obviously.
Yeah, we just caught on. Thanks for the heads up. Thank you.
Rogelio writes, the best Superman movie ever. 5 stars. Joel writes, the worst Superman movie ever. Half a star.
Takes all kinds to make a world.
That's about all I got on this one, guys. Are you ready to
just take it down?
Yeah, you ready to jump into the movie?
I'm gonna dive off my dragon into a pool of brains and bodies.
Yeah.
Should I let him die? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Sure. Why not? This is Man of Steel. We open with Lara giving birth to Kal-El on Krypton. Yeah. It appears that she did not receive any drugs, which maybe is something called.
Well, they had this baby in secret, like in a bathtub.
Yeah,
like it's very home. Yeah.
It's very Children of Men. This whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jor-El immediately leaves his wife to go out and talk to the government because the planet's going to blow up apparently in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yep.
20 minutes from now, the planet's going to blow up, but nobody really saw it coming. Zod breaks in to the government and tries to stage a military coup. He tries to convince Jor-El to join him.
What a day.
Yeah, my son was born. I'm trying to
There's a military coup.
There's a military coup.
So,
and I'm not even supposed to be here. It's my day off.
A pot roast? Yeah, I was going to say, where's the General Zod mixer that they had in the first week? Little cocktail party after.
Jor-El says, no, I'm not into military coups, Zod. So they fight. And then Jor-El hops on his pet dragon to go steal a magic skull.
What was the dragon's name? Like what? Gunnar or something?
Kevin
had a name that was important. Heknar or
Zuzu.
No, I did not like those.
Haraka.
This is a trope I really hate when there's advanced technological societies that also have flying animals they ride.
Like
Star Wars.
Well, Star Wars almost gets a pass because it's like
it does get a pass.
In Star Wars, they're riding cows, or horses, kind of thing. Like, okay, I can see that, but like,
or giant geckos.
Stuff, yeah, but they're also not usually riding the animals in the middle of like a bustling city full of spaceships. It's usually on some distant planet where it's like the best mode of transportation available.
I just feel like I can buy it in Star Wars, almost any version of Star Wars, but it just felt so out of place in this. It's so
out of place. People aren't riding their horses down the interstate. like you don't ride an animal through the middle of automated machines.
And with your anti-gravity ships.
Battle. The coup is happening in the airspace over Krypton in the background.
Weird things. Yeah.
It's like a civil war at this point. It's no longer a military coup. It is a full-blown aerial battle over this.
And what is the Codex?
Right?
It's the genetic information. Yes.
What, Jeremy?
Unobtainium. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's 100%. Yeah. It's the MacGuffin.
It's the MacGuffin. Yeah, but I'm with you.
About Jor-El, because this is the thing that bothered me the most so this dude's a scientist, right? But he is also a lawyer, like someone's he's showing up to the government and he's like stating his case. He's also a master hand-to-hand combatant who's like beating up the most prominent general of the Kryptonian military. Is Jor-El the most famous man on Krypton?
He must be.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be because he can do everything. Yeah, he's like, my album drops 2 minutes
check out my SoundCloud, by the way.
He's like, no, my album dragon things while I was flying on a dragon.
Yeah. He's the world's best dragon flyer, and I don't know, like tankless scuba diving guy. What do they call that?
I was just going to say he's also fishborn because he can be underwater for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he goes to the secret baby warehouse. He steals the magic skull.
Okay, hold on. So the baby warehouse, this is when my brain started to think back through this sequence. The baby warehouse is from the Matrix. The flying dragon thing is from the fucking Avatar movies. How many other tropes did they steal in this first 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the spelunking to get to the artifact.
Yeah.
It's a magical artifact. We don't keep it in a tomb.
Right?
Especially, hippies on a weekend trip can get to it if they want.
They keep it underwater at the pool at the bottom of the baby warehouse.
Yeah. Can we also acknowledge that Krypton is definitely like a fascist state?
Yeah, I think so.
Like they're totally governing. Like when he says we had a child through natural childbirth, Zod goes heresy. It's illegal to have children. What?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fascist state. Krypton sucks because their leaders don't know the planet's blowing up in 20 minutes.
So I have a question. It is illegal to have a baby. Clark has some issues with sexuality. Is it illegal for Kryptonians to have sex too?
I mean,
they're like if they're in a no risk sort of scenario where it's like you can't have any kids ever.
Yeah, did Zod
just sterilize everyone or?
Yeah, did Zod unsterilize himself and his wife? Did they not wear the Kryptonian prescribed condom, like the prophylactic that they give you, just because
that they give you?
That the government issues you if you're going to fornicate.
The thing that's crazy is even on Krypton, it's still Trojan. That's still that's still the most advertised brand.
Well, yeah. So, all right. So
it's ribbed for nobody's pleasure.
No pleasure on Krypton whatsoever.
Real quick, I looked it up because I know I had seen the baby warehouse somewhere else.
Then you need to tell someone.
It's next door to the men's warehouse.
It was in another Superman franchise or Superman show. It was in Krypton most recently. But
I forgot that show existed.
I looked it up, and it did come from the comics. It was the birthing matrix, they called it, and it was first introduced in Man of Steel #1 in 1986.
Okay.
So not made up for the movie.
So the Matrix stole the Matrix from the birthing Matrix in Superman.
It would appear so. So all right. So Jor-El goes home and puts his baby in a spaceship. His newborn child is sending him to Earth to escape the planet because again, it's going to blow up in 20 minutes. Zod arrives. He gets mad that they had a baby that wasn't from the baby warehouse.
Hold on. But how about the fact that like Laura is like, we should go with our kid, and he's like, bro, no, we just send the fucking baby by himself. She's like, but what if they kill him? And he's like, don't worry, he's gonna be a god to these people. We're just gonna die here.
And then he's like, hold up while I record all this shit.
So yeah. This is my number one unanswered question. We see thousands of ships capable of flying away from the planet. Yeah. We see lots of technology. Why can't they fly away from the planet? Why is only a single baby capable of being saved from Krypton, the planet that's going to explode in 20 minutes?
Because when they decided the planet was exploding, it's like they're just like, oh, guess I'll die.
They totally got tickets.
They didn't have to pack a lot of stuff for the baby. Everyone else would have had to like get their toiletries together, change of clothes.
There weren't enough snacks, to be completely honest. Like this bag of Chex Mix is only enough for one.
So before we leave Krypton, I have a question about Krypton itself, and he's going to be a god to them. Young son, he'll drink in the radiation, blah blah blah. We get it.
Oh, wait. I would like to for an unanswered question later on. I'd like to point out, Brian, that yes, he does say a lifetime of drinking in the yellow sun's radiation will make him powerful. Yeah. A lifetime. Okay. So please continue.
Yeah. Ooh, that is actually, I see the point that you're making right now. So Krypton itself, you're a normal functioning creature on Krypton, yet they are aware that on other planets they can be given godlike powers.
Well, and specifically planets with yellow suns. You know how many yellow sun planets there are? Like how many systems with yellow suns there are? And also, I want to ask this question. If humans live under yellow sun radiation and we're normal, if we go to a blue hypergiant or something like that, do we become super too?
Yeah.
Right.
So why not go? Why not all go?
Why not
be like
everybody?
If we found out that blue stars gave us superpowers, humanity would be clamoring to get off this rock.
We'd be trying to go give some freedom to every planet.
Yeah,
the universe.
Like, we can be immortal.
So
we're going to leave.
They save these few psychopaths and Cal.
Oh yeah, that's
those are the ones who leave.
Yeah.
I know they were an accident. You know what I mean? As far as sending people off the planet.
But for 300 cycles, and then Zod says, "You doomed us to an eternity." Like
he gets parole.
Time dilation.
Yeah, but also, but also they send him into space, the place that's safest.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm talking about.
Which also, if the Phantom Zone is this other dimension, why didn't they all go there?
Yeah,
good point.
Why don't they do anything to save anyone from their planet?
Because it sucks.
I guess I'll die.
It does look like it sucks. Yeah.
So okay, but before that happens, Zod kills Jor-El with a knife, which leaves us to wonder what the point of that fucking armor even was.
I have no idea. Your fingers are protected.
Your fingers are great.
That's not functional armor. That shit is literally just like a rich people statement piece. He's like, I'm so wearing. Check out this armor I've got.
The slow blade pierces the shield.
Oh, hey, it was all Dune. It was Dune always.
It was Dune all along. So all right,
they stored the in the thigh pads.
Though he didn't stab him very slowly.
No, I wanted to bring up the new Dune for so long.
So all right, so they send the Zod. They put the Zod squad into big dildos and send them into space.
They're so phallic. What the hell?
Yes, they do.
They literally have balls.
I know.
They have 2 balls.
Those are the most phallic things I have ever seen.
They are
babies are made
that they put people inside.
Isn't it funny how the houses are always mid-central colonial and the penises are always circumcised?
Ribbed for no one's pleasure.
Exactly.
So they're all you guys are being a bunch of dildos, getting these dildos.
And did we not
I'll never
mention
be killed by irony.
the thing you need in a Superman origin story is a baby's penis.
Yep.
Got it.
We got a baby penis.
Kicking this
It's
too.
Superman
That's all we needed.
tradition.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's
Like-
like. Yeah.
All
And
right,
he's
so
an
the-
alien. Like if you're gonna do it every time, give him a weird old alien.
Give him
You
like
know
a
what it
fucking
is?
hook
It's-
on that.
Well, I
thing
was
or
going to say
something.
they literally do it just so that they, without getting an R rating, can answer the question all of the weirdos on Reddit ask about Superman and Lois's relationship.
You're right. You're right. Look, his equipment's the same.
It's fine. It's all fine. Don't worry about
Everything's
it.
fine. It's gonna be fine. Don't think about that.
Yeah. So, all
good
right.
point.
So the Zod Squad are in space. The planet explodes. Then we cut to Kal-El arriving on Earth. Then we cut to an adult Clark on a fishing boat. He saves a bunch of oil drillers in a rig that's on fire with his super strength.
Well,
Then
and
we-
once again, I know it doesn't make for a good superhero, but it looks like the most interesting shit would have been that. Same with like Bruce Wayne. Like I would have liked to seen more of their journey before they become who they are, because that makes sense that Clark would go on a walkabout, if you will,
Yeah.
Yep.
and experience
I
the world.
did
If-
really like that.
Josh, it
Yeah.
makes sense that he would wander in the desert before returning to
Yes, that's right.
assemble
To his father, returning
Yeah.
to his father. Yeah.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Clark in school as a child. Puberty's pretty rough. He hears and sees everything. So he hides in the closet while his teacher invites the other children to come gather around and laugh at him.
Come on, kids. Let's go bully this weirdo.
Yep.
I can't leave
People
you in the
will-
room by yourself.
Everybody watch Clark.
Is that
right
how is that how you handle kids out?
I make
Gather
them
the
follow
other-
me everywhere.
Gathers the other around to bully them. So then Ma Kent arrives and talks him out of his K-hole. Meanwhile, let's see, we cut back to Clark as an adult. He swims to shore and steals some conveniently Henry Cavill-sized clothing.
Yeah, he is a big man.
He is apparently he apparently he was offered steroids, which he refused from the
Production.
studio, because he wanted to get that big on his own, and he also refused to shave his chest. So Superman having chest hair is all on Henry Cavill, which
Good for him.
I
Which is
support.
great. Yeah.
Absolutely, I support that.
Yeah. There's no need
He's like
for him
the
to be a dolphin.
Ubermensch. He's like the Ubermensch of nerds, because this dude was like playing World of Warcraft when he got the call that he got Superman. And then he's just like, you know what? I'll just get real jacked, and then I'll just do more nerd stuff, but I'll be like this beautiful jacked nerd.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I support
it's funny.
everything.
Literally, Superman created by two Jewish fellows was the Superman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, all right. We cut back to his childhood.
What
Need to.
Jeremy said about him being a nerd, we often forget that Superman Clark Kent is a genius level intellect.
Hey,
He's a
Yeah.
nerd.
And he could have done anything he wanted. I'll get to that later.
Yeah, he
we'll all
could have
get
been
to
a
that
lawyer,
later.
scientist, deep sea diver.
Whatever he decides, he can be.
He'll do anything he wants, and he does.
Yep.
So, all right, cut back to childhood. Clark's getting bullied by an overweight ginger kid on the school bus.
At least he's not a little French kid like in Hancock.
At least
The
he's not
unexplainable
French.
bully of all time.
The bus goes into a river over a bridge. Clark saves all the kids, and apparently this makes the ginger bully's parents very angry.
I know.
we saw
How
you.
dare
We
you
saw
save our
your son save our children.
Yeah.
How dare you?
So my question is, well, really more a statement. The most unrealistic thing about this movie is, first off, Clark is in this super tiny Kansas or wherever they are,
Kansas.
town, and he's different. And one, they did not come up with one slur for him. the whole time he was there. Or when Superman like reveals himself to the public and now there's like a literal alien on Earth, no one is like, he's in New York or in Smallville. No one's yelling slurs at this dude. If this was really America, we'd have had one alien slur in there by the end of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Oh yeah. They're 100% would be a word that you can't say on TV about him.
That's an interesting point too. We get zero reaction from the world that there are aliens here.
Zero reaction.
And not just alien, but aliens.
Mm-hmm.
But we do get some of that same thing that's even since the Mole Men, where they know this man is powerful, yet they talk shit. Kind of what you were saying. Yeah. You know, like still.
Well, yeah, even just
weird and bully.
They put him in handcuffs and he's flying. He flies up to you and you put him in handcuffs. Are you delusional?
Will you have your mom come in to school? You know what I mean? Like if I saw that and he saved my life, I'd be like, yeah, cool. You and me. We have an unspoken secret. Yeah.
And then if I'm Pa Kent and they're like, we saw what your son did, I'd be like, what are you gonna do about it? If he can, you've seen him move a bus, then you need to.
That's what I'm talking about.
Instead, Pa Kent tells Clark that in order to avoid attention, he should just let kids die.
Maybe. What a weird written moment. Should I have just let them die? Maybe.
Yeah, why not?
Why not just say, yeah, they're humans. Fuck those people. Like,
we're lesser life forms than you, Clark.
Why is it
die?
Yeah.
Because they'll experiment on you. They'll destroy you. They'll blah, blah, blah. You'll never get to live your life if you keep saving other people's lives. And he's all, what about firemen? Shut up, Clark.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that gets to the point where it's like Jonathan Kent is basically saying your life is worth more than their life. Yeah. That's 100% what he's saying.
That's exactly what he's saying.
Yeah. So Pa shows Clark the spaceship that he came to Earth in, and apparently the thumb drive that Jor-El sent with him, the thumb drive which he showed to a metallurgist, and the metallurgist said this does not appear on the periodic table, and then told nobody about it.
Yep. Do you think Pa Kent murdered that metallurgist?
I think so. If he's willing to let the kids die, he killed that metallurgist.
Maybe it's not from this planet.
Yeah, you're right. Super cash.
Yeah. So Clark is all like, I don't want to be an invincible, handsome alien god. And Pa Kent's like, too bad.
The only thing that thumb drive had on it was the soul of Jor-El and the Limp Bizkit playlist.
I was going to say, and his resume, his journalism resume that he's trying to fucking tinker with.
But it's out of date. It ends in like 1997.
You have to upgrade. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how to talk about these. It's like these 5 years where I was working on my novel. I have to come up with something for that.
So
you sent us your screenplay accidentally.
There are a lot of moving parts to this thumb drive thing getting to Pa Kent. Was that Jor-El's intention?
To get it
when
to
the
Pa
ship
Kent?
lands, someone's going to get the little stick and give it to the kid? What if they took it and left the kid?
Yeah, there's a lot.
People
are a lot of what if.
There should have been some Jor-El Pa Kent moments because Jor-El can interact with people he's never met before, and should have been like, "How you doing, raising Clark? Oh, it's going all right." You know, chatting.
Yeah, there should have been like some co-parenting going on here.
Something.
Yeah.
Because he's so spatially aware, he can tell Lois where to turn to avoid getting hit. You know, like why can't he just hang out in the barn with Pa?
Yeah, they're hanging out, and Jonathan tosses a can of beer to him. And it goes through him, and he can't just.
Jor-El's like, "Oh, Johnny."
But it's
back
their thing.
Back with adult Clark, he gets bullied in his job as a busser in a Canadian truck stop, because I would definitely bully a dude that's 6 inches taller than me and jacked.
Right?
Yep.
The most unrealistic bullying ever.
Ever.
Since
and even the waitress, even the waitress, he's like getting ready to step to the guy, and even she sees the writing on the wall, like, yo, just chill, man. You're gonna destroy this man.
You're gonna murder him.
But like picking the dude up and throwing him out of the truck stop instantly, the first thing that happens then when a 6'5" dude picks up another guy and throws him out of a truck stop is I think, oh, he must be an alien.
No,
right?
I think, oh, that's what happens when you mess with a 6'5" humongous man.
Well, I mean, if Clark can write with a pencil and not break it, he can pick up a human being and not throw them 400 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Well, like we'll also talk about that too.
Yeah. So, but but instead he's going to very subtly take his truck and put it on the top of telephone poles.
Yeah.
Yeah. He risked doing that outside the window, making a ton of noise because his powers are not silencing loud things.
Well, and the first of
can't
many
fly either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So he had to do this in a very noisy, noticeable way.
Yeah.
And it's the first little ding of the bell for the long history of Superman destroying shit that affects other people, and he doesn't have to. It's like the famous joke of the like saving the kid from the train. Instead of kidding a kid off the tracks, he stands in front of the train so the train can be demolished.
The train.
It's
derailed.
He's always doing that.
Well, and
just rip his truck in half. No, I'm going to take out power for this little fucking town.
Well, and
this is the Hancock Part 2 episode. That was like one of the best moments in Hancock was, why didn't you just go up?
Right.
Yeah.
No, instead.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely. No, instead of just throwing this guy out of the truck stop, he ruins his livelihood. He's a trucker.
And he interrupted the supply chain.
Well, and he's probably trapped at that truck stop with that waitress now.
You just make things difficult for everybody. How do you,
and a bunch of people
it's like, how do you get a truck up there? I have a good question. How do you get it down?
Yeah.
It's like it's full of questions.
Yeah. So, all right. So, meanwhile, Lois Lane, intrepid reporter for the Daily Planet, is in Canada at an American military base where there's some artificial object in the ice. Did it take anyone else a few things to notice that it was Clark that was taking her bags off the helicopter?
No, yeah, I noticed.
I noticed that immediately.
I did.
We're like shouting at it.
I missed it.
Joe.
Yeah.
Joe will take your bags. Careful, they're heavy.
So there's a couple. So all right. So then she spots Clark going into the cave.
Yep.
And
a little underdressed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And tunneling lasers.
Maloney's character says to her, "Be careful outside. It drops to 40 below at nighttime."
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And she steps outside, face uncovered, camera in hand, just walking outside to take photographs.
I have
lived in Milwaukee, right? Or wherever.
I have been in that weather. You do not go out like that. You
die.
will die. Yes.
You will literally die. She walks up the same mountain path that she saw Clark on in negative 40 below, dressed in the fucking Gap winter collection.
So this also okay, there's a couple things here. So one, either it's Clark's first day, conveniently the day that Lois arrives, or two, he decided to wait to tunnel in until he saw the reporter arrive.
And they reveal him to her immediately and unceremoniously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if Clark has like a Hellboy thing? Like, you remember in the Hellboy movies, he's always trying to get discovered by the public. He's like, it's my moment. What if Clark is like, it's my moment. It's time.
Maybe, but then in the very last scene, he sort of goes against that idea.
Yeah.
Ruins that satellite for looking for him. But yeah, she just walks in. That's very, I don't know. Chris Reeve had turned time backwards to keep secrets from Lois.
Oh, God. All right. So inside the ship, Clark inserts his thumb drive, and the ship's floating defense Roomba comes online. Lois follows into the ship, and despite Clark's hearing, he doesn't know she's there.
Also, the thumb drive doesn't go all the way in at first, so he then gets attacked by the robot.
Yeah, and then he has to push it in the rest of the way. It's like in the original NES, you can't just push it in; you also have to press it down.
Yeah.
That's the sex talk that Jor-El has with him.
You can't just push it in. You also have to press it down.
Before you push it all the way in.
I thought you had to wiggle it around in there too,
Look,
man.
all I'm saying is left, right, down, up, down, up.
It reveals.
Make sure that thumb drive is balls deep.
Because everything from Krypton is phallic.
That's the little box that pops up on Windows. Make sure the thumb drive is balls deep.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Lois falls into the ship, gets attacked by the Roomba. Clark saves her and patches up her wound, it's always sexy. Open wounds are always sexy.
Well, also, he cauterizes her wound through her sweater.
Yes.
She has internal hemorrhaging, and he manages to stop the internal hemorrhaging from the inside before he burns the outside without getting the sweater in there. Like, I'm not a doctor, but I assume you would be like, hold on, I'm going to pull up your sweater just to reveal your wound, and I'm going to cauterize this.
Yeah, for this laparoscopic.
This is like the most puritanical missionary cauterizing of a wound I've ever seen.
Yeah, you would generally try to avoid getting rayon in a wound.
Yeah. I watch a lot of
you don't wool.
cauterizing.
You don't want wool and shit in there.
So, all right.
Doctor says I'm not supposed to get wool in it.
She is walking.
Immediately afterwards, yes.
Immediately afterwards.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the movie.
In negative 40-degree weather.
Yeah.
So the spaceship breaks out of the ice and flies away. Lois writes a story about this and is shocked that the editor of the world's most prestigious newspaper doesn't want to print her expose on ancient aliens.
Clark flies a spaceship somewhere else on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And no satellite picked it up. Not one.
He decides he doesn't want to take this spaceship to the fucking moon or to Mars or to Jupiter or something to sort this shit out. He goes to where, Greenland or something? Like
somewhere. The Arctic. Yeah, wherever.
Even when he purposely destroys a satellite, he throws it on the ground at Earth. Yeah. He doesn't throw it into the sun like we've always asked. Yeah. Throw it into the sun, Clark.
Yeah, it's easy enough to just let gravity do its part. Throw it at the sun, it'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crash this motherfucker in front of this Jeep.
Yeah. But so, also, he grew up on Earth, a product of American culture about ray guns and spaceships, and this man takes a spaceship like it's a fucking Cessna turboprop and flies it somewhere else. He's like, oh, this parking space is taken. I guess I'll park it somewhere else in the ice. Like,
yeah,
dude, it's a spaceship. Go fly somewhere for like 15 minutes and figure out your connection with your dad in space.
Right. So, yeah.
We saw it, and it was the space equivalent of Pinto. It was like,
yeah, you have to push
Mom and Dad, let me have the keys. We're going to White Castle, guys.
Oh, Mom and Dad left me the keys is exactly what Galileo was
the window wouldn't roll up.
And it smelled like dead Kryptonians in there. So.
Well, luckily, there's his dad's special suit is on board.
I have a theory about this as well.
Fabricators.
Yeah, because in the original Superman movie, Jor-El sent that suit with him.
Well, the cape.
This one, this one just happened to be fully on display in the the men's warehouse section of the ship.
Yeah,
not the baby wear.
It fits very, very well.
It does.
Well. Yeah, it's the fall collection.
Yeah, I assume that was taken from his imprint as he walked into the ship and then made, because it was wasn't it like a colony investigation? What do they call it? A scout ship?
It was, yeah.
So they probably had stuff to make stuff for surface adventures or something.
And you're talking about that kind of race. You just assume they've got some kind of sci-fi fantasy nonsense like replicators.
Yeah, they do.
Also, this ship was stranded, crash landed on Earth, but it's fully functioning.
Yeah, for tens of thousands of years.
Yeah. Totally works still. Why did those Kryptonians die on the ship?
Exactly. Because low-key, there's some gods somewhere. Just like, whoops.
Yeah. But you're right. Why didn't our sun protect them?
Yeah. Well, like you mentioned, Throw, a lifetime of exposure to the sun's radiation.
Yes. A lifetime.
Adolescence.
It's explicitly stated. Yes.
A lifetime or puberty. Somewhere in there.
Well, either that, but certainly not the day and a
immediately.
half that Zod spends there.
Yeah. No, I know. Exactly. Right.
So all right. So yeah, she puts Lois puts her story on 4chan or something. And then at the North Pole, Clark in the spaceship finds the hologram of his dad, who explains his whole backstory, gives him his costume. Clark puts it on, practices flying for a while. He goes home and finds that Lois has tracked him down to Smallville. How many times do you think she said, "I was wondering when you'd show up," to somebody who wasn't Clark behind her?
Like, I'm just using the weed whacker on the.
Well, that's just one of those movie
I will
things.
admit, twice I turned around and nobody was there. But
one time it was an old lady who was here to meet somebody off of Tinder.
Possibly the most important question I'll ask on this podcast ever is, how did he shave?
Yeah,
we talked about this
with his laser eyes.
There was that comic strip where,
why didn't his laser eyes? But wait, like, why don't his laser eyes burn the hair off of Zod or any of the other Kryptonians when they're like catching heat off each other?
You know how he shaved, right? Sponsored by Gillette. That's how he shaved.
You're right.
But you remember in Superman 4 when they made Nuclear Man, they took that strand of Superman's hair, which we laughed because it was huge, as if he had a mane
like
of
a back
hair.
hair.
Yes.
But then, we started talking because it's indestructible, but Lex cuts it.
Immediately. Yes.
I've honestly repressed the memory of Superman 4.
Yeah, it's those fingernails.
So
that,
we all had, but
with
we
me.
seem to do this to ourselves.
So all right. So Clark tells Lois he doesn't want any publicity. We flash back to Clark as a teenager. They're driving, and there's a tornado. And to prove a point, his dad decides to die.
Yes, I'll just die.
And this is teenage Cavill, so he is a very big teenager.
I'm supposed to believe this dude is 15, like
giant
grown man.
Fuck you, Dad.
Dad, you're not my real dad.
So there's two major things.
Die in a tornado.
Yeah, you're not my real dad. Gotta love that. There's two major things in this scene. Number one, there's a number of ways Clark could have helped save the dog that wouldn't make those people immediately think, "Hey, he's an alien."
Yeah,
Dude can jog still.
He literally could have run up and like just broken the seat forward, real like casual like. No one would have said anything.
Well, or he could have gotten sucked up into a tornado.
I was gonna say.
And gone back to Mom and Pa Kent's house, and they'd be like, "We tell no one," you know.
Or we can chalk it up to this insane. Sometimes tornadoes can pick up a pond full of frogs, and redeposit them. You know what I mean? So it's like
There's a lot of
leap or jump or pick something up and chalk it up to the crazy atmospheric event.
Yes, there's a lot of things you could have done, but one thing you never do in a tornado. Hide under an underpass.
Yeah.
You never talk about tornado.
And honestly, this scene is probably my biggest gripe with this whole movie from a fundamental level. And it gets the whole point of Jonathan Kent's death wrong. And the whole point of Jonathan Kent's death is that it's supposed to symbolize the fact that as powerful as Clark is, there are some things he cannot affect. And then instead you put him in a situation where there's some sort of like weird stoic restraint he's showing rather than his father dying of a heart attack. In a way, like, Clark, as powerful as you are, nothing you could have done would have stopped your father from dying from this random, unchangeable event.
Yeah.
That was the point of Jonathan Kent's death in the comics and in the original film series, is that you can't be powerful enough to save everybody. There's no way you can do that. You have to understand mortality and death.
Right. That's not a revenge situation. Yeah.
But all right. So anyways, Kent dies. Jonathan Kent dies. And then back in the present, Perry suspends Lois for putting her story on the internet. And Clark tells his mom that he found his alien roots and he's converting to Hasidic Kryptonianism.
He's going to go on a mission.
She looks so hurt when he tells her.
Yeah.
It's like, is that necessary to like suggest that she act hurt?
Yeah,
I know. Why did
she should be happy for him? She should be like, I'm so really glad, happy. Son. I'm so glad that you understand where you came from.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Like a normal human parent would say, like, I'm so happy you found them, but I'm still your mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, simple as that.
Not like muttering under her breath, stupid aliens.
Or diapers. Could you give me a hand on the farm right quick before you bounce?
Can you paint the house before you leave?
The fucking thing's dilapidated.
Yeah. I'm dying out here.
For a superhuman son, Clark is kind of shit at helping his widowed mother out.
Yes. Yeah. In Batman, Superman, I don't know, one of them I was watching recently, there's even a moving crew that brings her back in the house after Bruce Wayne gives her the family farm back because the bank
Bruce takes better care of her.
Yeah. But there's a moving van.
Yeah.
They hired motherfuckers to move her shit back in the house. Her son is Superman.
Yeah. Bruce is like calling him every week, like, you checked on Martha this week, right?
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a farm.
You got to check on Martha. Farming. She has the same name as my mom.
She's making Cheerios, remember?
Like showing up over there, like, can you make me pancakes, Mom? What did you say? I mean, Martha.
Can you mow the lawn?
No. It's like, I bought you this pearl necklace. Can you wear it?
I think you misunderstood the point of that story.
So military guys find a spaceship arriving in Earth orbit. It makes the evening news. Then Zod hacks into all of Earth's media, and in a video that was apparently like edited by Trent Reznor, tells them that he wants them all to surrender Kal-El, or he'll destroy all of humankind.
Clark looks at the ship. He looks at it.
Yes,
like he's got superhuman vision. Like I don't discount that, but the odds of him being right over Kansas.
Oh, the odds in this movie.
Like, well, maybe they were sensing Kryptonian ship material, but also there's a fuck ton of ship materials wherever Clark parked that spaceship.
Yeah,
they don't. His little phallic tube that he came in.
They don't find anything. They have to ask Clark where stuff is. They can't find anything. They just happen to be over Kansas.
Yeah.
Like just like the way you met Lois.
Pretty big to see things from space around.
Yes. Yeah. So Lois gets taken into custody by the military, and Clark goes to church, and then has a flashback about getting bullied again. Clark suits up, arrives at the military facility where Lois is being held. He tells them he'll surrender to Zod if they release her. Zod sends a ship to get Kal-El and Lois for reasons. And Clark secretly gives Lois his thumb drive with his dad on it. There's a bit where they explain that the Kryptonian atmosphere in the ship makes Clark weak. Then he and Zod have some sort of mind meld.
Mind song.
Yeah.
Yes. He explains his backstory to Kal-El, tells him that they were freed by the explosion of Krypton and flew from Kryptonian outpost to outpost, collecting equipment, including a terraforming machine they call the World Engine.
Yeah, the Genesis Project, as it's known.
Yes.
I want to take a moment right here to point out, even though this was one of those Anthony Hopkins no acting required kind of moments, there are a few moments where Michael Shannon like shows us a little something, like some of Zod's quieter, brooding, angry moments. There's something there, and it disappoints me because I love the casting in this movie so much. To see like all that potential in those moments where he's like looking at Kal-El and he's like hungry and predatory, and it's like, you guys so fudged this character by making him a mustache twirler.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Plus, and giving him the '90s George Clooney haircut too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the conquering, emperor haircut.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure it was frustrating because unlike Anthony Hopkins, this dude is, he's making his chops right now. So the no acting required was probably quite disappointing to him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he was probably trying to do whatever the fuck he could to make it interesting, if nothing else for himself. Do you know what I mean? Like Anthony Hopkins, you're going to be Odin. Yeah, roger that. Like I've been doing this for 60, 70 years. I don't care. Yeah.
So, all right. So yeah, the Kryptonians came to Earth when the ship that Clark woke up called them there. Zod pitches his plan to Clark, to Kal-El, and his plan is like, we're gonna kill all the humans in order to make it habitable for us. You won't have God powers anymore. Plus, I killed your dad. Want to join me?
Hey, it's Uncle Zod. Hey, what a cool character. Want to go get a tattoo?
Old UZ.
And he calls him Cal the whole time.
Cal.
Yeah.
Like, look, me and your dad were basically best friends. I know I killed him, but I want you to know the same love and affection I had for your father, that transfers to you.
And when I stab you to death, it will be with the utmost love.
Yeah, he's like, I was as surprised as he was that I killed him.
Your birth was pure heresy. I was waging a coup. The planet was blowing up. But I'm glad we got to know each other.
A lot of respect.
So Jor knew that Clark would have superpowers from the yellow radiation
he knew
magic.
Yeah.
But Zod, what's Zod's last name, by the way? Does he have a last name? Is he like Zod fan? Zod,
it's like Cher.
Zod Witch.
Spider-Man.
Which
so did he
Zodman
like not know that Clark
Zodman
was going to have superpowers? Did he think Clark was just going to be a regular dude?
Yeah, it's weird that he didn't know.
It comes back to the question of why not just like be like, cool, we're going to kill everybody on Earth and keep the conditions as they are, and we're going to get used to it and be much better.
Yes, because apparently it's only going to take us
Cloud City.
It's only going to take us like 2 or 3 hours to get used to it, and then we'll be gods.
Also, why not use the world engine on Mars?
Yes,
for real. Yeah. All of these habitable spots.
Yes,
and look, even then, go to a planet closer to the sun and be like super gods there.
Yeah,
there's a million things they could have done that wasn't terraforming Earth. They could have terraformed anything, anywhere, and not had to have dealt with Kal-El.
Zod had that haircut.
This gets to one of my notes. My notes about terraforming in this movie. And this is a holdover. The whole setup for the terraforming machine, which when you think about it and you look at the terraforming machine, you'll get this. This is a holdover from the Kevin Smith script of Superman Lives, when the producer said he wanted Superman to fight a giant spider.
Yeah,
and
John Peters.
Smith, John Peters. So Kevin Smith wrote a thing called the Tagtharian Snare Beast that Superman was going to fight. And so this script evolved, and it's got a bunch of different elements that other people have left in it. Nolan and Goyer didn't really write this. This has J.J. Abrams, Kevin Smith, and Tim Burton all over it.
Absolutely.
So World Engine. Yeah, so J.J. Abrams had the flyby script, which kept this stupid thing in it somehow. And we get to this point where Superman still has to fight a giant spider for no reason.
Right. And John Peters did get his giant spider in Wild West anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
This dude is like 2 for 2 on giant spiders.
Yeah. The dude was obsessed.
So, all right. So meanwhile, Zod heads to Earth to rough up an old lady. And meanwhile, on the ship, Lois inserts her thumb drive and puts Jor-El into the ship. Jor-El changes the ship's atmosphere to Earth's and helps Lois get to an escape pod, telling her the secret way to stop the world engine.
And because of Russell Crowe, it was really amusing. Like, I liked all the Jor-El, but how stupid.
Yeah, it was
that he was so interactive.
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
Yeah. Lois straight up downloaded LimeWire onto that Kryptonian machine.
Yes,
he could tell her left and right.
Yeah. Yeah. He
go
knew
left,
where
go right.
So
my left or your AI.
Did she have to leave the thumb drive in the ship for him to work on that? Because she could have put that thing in, he could have loaded into the ship, and she could have taken it with her.
Yeah, but she doesn't take it out, at least not on screen.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, Kal-El gets his strength back, talks to his dad. He flies away to save Lois from her crashing escape pod. Meanwhile, Zod tries to get Ma Kent to reveal where the Codex is. Kal-El arrives and fights the Zod Squad in the middle of a motherfucking town, downtown Smallville.
So
always,
we've already asked questions about the Codex, but he doesn't say to her, "It's a little black skull," with like yellow lines on it.
No, wait, hold on, wait. But his dad downloaded the Codex into him.
Yes. Ooh, but they don't know that. Yes,
that's right.
Yeah,
and so he's like, he is the Codex.
Yeah,
yeah. So all right, so
the child is the treasure.
Yeah, Kal-El is able to hold his own against so many because the Zod's helmets keep breaking and they're not used to the Earth's atmosphere. So they fight a while. The military gets involved. Eventually, they destroy most of the town. Luckily, everyone evacuated 15 minutes before they started doing this, apparently, because there's nobody around.
There's no one in Metropolis either.
No, they're all inside the buildings.
In the IHOP.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, in Metropolis, they're not inside the buildings because they break through building after building after building that are empty.
Oh, that's because the people got vaporized immediately by
there
the density.
Well, there
of
weren't
the fight.
people in the buildings until Batman versus Superman. Then it was there were people in the buildings.
But there never is. It's always so. It's like we said earlier with the train and shit. Especially the battle in Metropolis. The ocean is just like right there, right?
Yeah.
Aren't they on water like Gotham and New York? And like space, exactly, or space.
Throw that guy into the sun.
Away. Even
I don't know why
Marvel
Superman's
movies,
first move
literally
isn't to throw anything
Superman,
into the sun.
There's a whole scene in Superman 2 where he's leading Zod away from Metropolis to save the lives of the civilians.
Yeah,
right. They totally abandoned that shit, and even Tony is like, get the Hulk out of town. You know? And they introduced damage control. In Far From Home, but in DC,
the first Avengers, Cap is like telling the cops how to evacuate the city.
Right.
You know, that's the biggest criticism I think of this movie is the fallout.
Yeah, Civil War. They get out into the airport because it's like, we're gonna scrap out here because there's not a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, there's like a callous disregard for overall humanity in
really callous disregard. Yes, absolutely.
The only person we see him save is Lois once again.
And you know what? Like in a Batman movie, it would be kind of on brand, but in a Superman movie, it is strikingly like discordant.
But I've seen Batman react like Cap before. You know, like you protect these civilians.
Yeah,
and he has no powers.
Batman is always saving civilians. We do. I mean, technically, Clark. So he does save the kids on the bus and then gets chastised for it. He does save the oil rig people, and he saves the people that Zod are holding hostage at the end.
All right. Yeah.
Like the 7 people that are in Metropolis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Why didn't the Fishboard take to the sea?
So Clark, so they decide Superman. The military guys decide Superman's a good guy. Must have been all the buildings he destroyed. Then Clark goes back home. Lois shows up. Somehow she got the policeman to drive her to Clark's farm.
Smallville kids.
So and then there's back on Zod's ship. There's the scientific Kryptonian with the incongruously German accent tells Zod that the Codex was downloaded to Clark's DNA. Zod releases the World Engine, which mostly seems to be like an earth plunger. It just makes stuff go up and down a lot.
Yeah, it just like breaks whatever's on the surface into smaller parts.
The Omni droid from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. And then one half goes to the Indian Ocean, and the other half, which is part of Zod's ship, goes over Metropolis. They do the big gravity terraforming thing. It's bad. Lots of people will die if there were lots of people in this city of 12 million.
They're all on vacation. Yeah. They're like, it's
just the staff of the Daily Planet.
Not even the whole staff, just the senior editorial staff.
And her friend, which they show in scenes like she is her sassy friend, but they
and retroactively Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne is definitely there driving a police car through the wreckage.
Absolutely,
they retcon in the Affleck.
100%. So Superman Superman goes to stop the World Engine ship in the Indian Ocean. The military launched their mission to Metropolis and take the always necessary newspaper reporter with them on their military mission.
Always. Yeah.
They need her for her tactical knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I understand embedded reporters, but this is happening in real time.
She's not embedded. She just happened to be along.
No.
Well, she just couldn't think. She or what was it? She can't think without a flak jacket on, or was her line that was super brass? I don't know. She's
badass.
Such a weird character.
She had some brassy, sassy Lois lines, but delivered them like a fucking dead fish. I'm sorry. Amy Adams is the most miscast Lois Lane of all time. She is terrible in that role. And I like Amy Adams in general, but this role was wrong for her.
Actually, most Loises have been well cast.
Yeah.
If not all, but her.
Yeah.
I will say, I did appreciate, though, that Superman's relationship with Lois in this is way less predatory than in all the other Superman movies.
Well, give him another movie or two, and he will kiss her memories away.
He's like gaslighting her. Like Christopher Reeve's Superman, watching it again, it just shows you where the culture was at the time, because that dude is toxic.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. He is not cool to that, to Margot Kidder.
Gaslighter.
Yeah. All right, so Superman stops the ship. The military launched their mission. Zod heads to the ship in the ice.
We got the first utterance of the name Superman at an hour 45 minutes.
Who said it? I didn't.
It was a guy on the radio. It was one of the military guys.
It was Harry Carey.
He said we've got Superman in tow. He said, and someone says Superman. It's like, that's what they're calling him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not sense. Alien guy.
Yeah.
Can I say I enjoy how crazy the fighting between the Kryptonians is in the streets in Smallville, because a lot of people gave it grief because it's hard to follow and this and that. But if you're watching superhuman god beings that can move at super speed and move things with super strength, it'd be hard to follow as a normal person.
Yes. Yeah. But again, a lifetime of drinking in the sun's rays or
versus 30
or
minutes.
A few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. That is so fair.
So, all right. The military tries to attack the ship over Metropolis, but it just causes more damage to the city. We follow the staff of the Daily Planet as they try to survive the destruction as the only inhabitants of Metropolis. Zod.
They're like, we didn't go on spring break.
We're the only ones. We had to stay here to water the plants.
Yeah.
At the Daily Planet.
Zod argues with the Jor-El hologram and then takes control of the ship. Superman manages to destroy the world engine
by doing the most logical thing you would expect him to do,
which is throwing it in. Does he throw it into space?
Well, at first he smashes through it,
Yeah.
Like that's badass. That's what I would do.
The beam.
Yeah.
The weak spot.
The sky beam.
Yeah. I would point out that this is the first. I would point out that this is the first super thing he's done. As Superman. The first and only Superman thing he has done.
Yeah. And I guess he realized that, he could just send his body like a bullet, a speeding bullet, through these objects to destroy them.
Yes, it makes so much more sense. Like he did all those buildings.
Yep, just like that.
So,
also laser vision much?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He forgets what he can do half the time.
He does. He doesn't decide to laser vision Zod when Zod's trying to laser vision the people.
He has a genius level intellect and memory of a goldfish.
Look, he wanted that one to be intimate. He was like, he's gonna have to kill him with my hands like a man.
Yeah. Yep.
He didn't freeze breath Zod.
Yeah.
Yeah, freeze breath.
Kiss him and
he didn't throw his symbol at him.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He didn't spin around real fast.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Just grabbed him
right in the mouth and been like, boom.
Give him
You
the whole
love
Krypton.
people on Earth, remember?
So, all right. So the mission over Metropolis is having trouble as they're being attacked by Zod, who's arrived in the ship from the ice. But Superman arrives just in time, destroys the ship. Zod's girlfriend attacks the aircraft. Lois is in with the Krypton bomb, but the ship crashes into the Kryptonian ship, causing the black hole that sucks the ship into it. Lois, luckily, is impervious to black holes and starts falling towards the ground.
Slowly, ever slowly.
Yes.
Like
also the Earth and its atmosphere, and lots of questions about that one too.
She's like, I've been drinking in this sun for a lifetime.
Now so that you told me that's how it works. That's how it works.
And then he kissed me, and I don't remember.
Also, I'm still falling.
She's still falling. Yep.
Superman saves her. They land next to the staff of the Daily Planet, who are now still the only people in Metropolis.
The speed at which Superman saves her skin should have just gone like off of her, like a
so they do explain this. They explain this in the comics. It's not a satisfying explanation, but it is an explanation, and it's essentially Superman isn't. It's not that he's impervious by his skin. It's that his magnetic field gives off an impervious vibe or something, and he can expand and retract it around the things he's carrying.
I see. So he's like shocks. He's shocks on the car.
Yes.
DC's just full of shit. They wrote this character and don't know how to do anything.
So his cells
the 30s, the
reach
20s?
beyond his body. He has a clear magnetic cellular bubble that he lives within.
Well, we see it because right before he does his blast off, he can make the rocks and things around him
float.
True.
Really interesting.
He affects
point.
Before he flies away. He affects some sort of.
He has like electromagnetic. Field. Huh.
Yeah. All right. That's interesting.
Okay.
I can go with that.
Most of him, it's not on the fucking.
It's not that he's fighting gravity. It's that he's using his electro field to fly.
Yeah.
Lift things.
Can he create lightning bolts? Because he should be able to create lightning bolts with that power.
He should.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Shazam.
Yeah.
Good night.
So, all right. So Lois and Superman kiss because I guess they're in love now, and Superman flies away to face Zod in one big final showdown. They destroy a big empty city. Building after building after building
for so long,
so long.
Apparently, the L family are just like martial arts prodigies because Clark, who's never been in a fist fight in his life, has the hands for this military general who obviously has killed a lot of people.
Well, and they've probably been training as they've been traveling the universe
for
picking
years.
up ships.
He's just been like doing push-ups and throwing knives at a picture of a baby like, I'm gonna get you.
Their ship encountered yellow suns.
Yes. Meanwhile, Kal-El has been specifically avoiding fighting.
Yeah.
Well, he's been forbade. Yeah, he could kill somebody.
He should have picked up a guitar and Cat Stevens'd him to death or something.
Yeah, but he somehow is intergalactic Khabib Nurmagomedov. Like he's just smashing people.
Cat's in the cradle and the sun.
So all right, so they get to a train station where there's the last 7 people in the city. Zod's gonna kill him with his laser eyes. So Superman just breaks his neck.
Well, and they were in the train station, so they were about to leave the city.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Or they had just got there.
The reason it's kind of tense is because at this point Clark has Betty Davis eyes.
Yeah.
So the laser eyes are match.
Yeah, and killing Zod is apparently so distressing to Superman that he must scream his rage into the night. This is far more distressing to him than all the people that he just inadvertently killed throughout Metropolis.
And not to mention when they briefly go to space, they destroy a satellite, probably wiping out cell and Wi-Fi service to the planet.
Maybe it's less of a distress for killing someone, and maybe it's more of a distress that he just had to kill the last other person who is a Kryptonian. He's literally I've just essentially genocided my own species.
My peeps. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
But it doesn't
Maybe
play
he
that
just-
way.
it was
You have to think
bloodlust.
about that.
He ran out of people that he could have fun killing.
Oh,
He was just so frustrated. He was like, that was so much fun. No.
So
The last rat to
Now, when
torture.
this movie came out, this was apparently super controversial, and people were very angry that he killed Zod. But that's pretending that he didn't kill Zod in Zod's first appearance in the comic books in like 1942, or well, later than that, but like way early in the comic books.
early on.
Zod and the Zod Squad show up, and he kills all of them.
Yeah, does in two, right? Terrence?
But he
He
doesn't
swears-
kill that.
Oh, he shoots them back.
Well, in 2, yeah, but he shoots them back into the Phantom Zone. But in the comic books, he literally gets a hold of a hunk of kryptonite and assassinates them with it.
There was no kryptonite in this. Huh?
No, there
Yeah.
wasn't kryptonite.
Well,
Yeah,
they
you'd
make
think
that.
that
That's a big plot point in Batman versus Superman. They discover
is.
kryptonite after they discover Superman,
But
because
And it's on the
Right.
world building
they
engine.
made a lot of those
thing.
decisions after.
well, and so what they say is they're like, well, eventually because of the world build engine, and then also because meteorites that are made of irradiated hunks of Krypton start crash landing way after the fact. They're like,
yeah, way after.
they retroactively build it into the story. Like, yeah, well, now that people know there's an alien, and then people start finding pieces of matter that we figure out are from Krypton, it sort of
The
one
planet
follows
itself.
the other kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, all right. So Lois shows
Yeah.
up at the train station just in time to do some emotional labor for him.
Yep.
And we cut to some time later. Superman confronts Army General Guy, telling him to stop spying on him. He's going to help mankind on his own terms.
Well,
Clark-
which 13 hours of Snyderverse, what is it called? Justice League. That Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
Yep, that's
Oh,
right.
right.
That's
Who
right.
is secretly also a superpowered fucking alien and harassing Clark all the time.
Right.
And
Uh,
is literally more powerful in some ways than Superman. Like in the comic books, Superman says Martian Manhunter is the scariest being on the planet.
Yeah.
So why hasn't he been doing anything this whole time?
anything. Yes, anything really. So, all right. Clark goes home
Well,
to
and
Kansas.
it's a sorry, he you know, they basically ask him if he's American,
Mhm.
and he doesn't answer.
Well, he says,
Well, he
no,
says,
he says,
"I was
I'm
How do we
born
know
in
you're going to
Kansas."
work in our interests? Well, because
Yeah.
he's known as he's like, I'm born in Kansas. You know, he's known as American. He's Homelander. But
Yeah.
yeah, he basically says, you don't
yeah.
know. If
I can do whatever I want.
side
You're
with
just
America.
going to have
Yeah.
to trust me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's hard because you almost hit our car with this satellite. You could have thrown into
Well,
the sun.
and you
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
you caused billions of dollars of property damage
Right.
in Metropolis.
Exactly.
It's literally a smoldering
I was-
hunk right now.
If I was looking at you objectively as a friend, I would say that guy is prone to violence.
He's not cool, and we need to be careful. Yeah.
Which just
Yeah,
gets to the
trust me,
point.
alien.
Lex Luthor did nothing wrong. Lex Luthor and Batman did nothing wrong. I'd be terrified too, and I'd be like, we have to figure out how to ice this dude in case he goes rogue.
And in Superman 2, Zod's not necessarily on the wrong side when he's on Krypton. He becomes
No.
pretty evil once he gets to Earth and see what he can do. But in both cases, he's sort of fighting a totalitarian government who doesn't care what happens
Yeah.
to his people.
Fascists.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're
So-
going to revel while we die.
All right. So we
Guess
get
I'll just
one
die.
more. Yeah. I guess I'll just die. We
Guess
get
I'll
one
just
more
die.
flashback of Clark as a child with Kevin Costner. Clark decides to go be a reporter at the Daily Planet. He puts on some glasses, and he's a white dude, so he gets the job.
Yeah.
Yep.
How much journalism experience do you have, son? None.
Well, they were
Right.
very impressed with his fishing.
Well, he's
background.
an incredibly fast typist.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
And remember, he worked for the Smallville Gazette or whatever. So
True.
he
Did
had
he?
a
Yeah.
byline.
They did
No,
put him
he
on
didn't.
sports.
We've joked about that. We've joked.
They put him on sports, and he probably has a great mind for statistics because he's got a genius level intellect,
Yeah.
a super genius level intellect. So he can
but-
probably just memorize statistics.
again, the Daily Planet is like the equivalent of the New York Times. Like you can't just walk into the New York Times with a resume full of fishing and get a job.
You can't walk to the Daily Star here in Tucson.
No.
There's no level of newspaper that you can walk into. You're right. This is the New York Times.
Well, maybe really it is that Lois hooked her boy up.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
maybe
that's
that's a blog
Exactly what happened.
that's
Lois
really
was like,
popular.
hey, give my dude a job. Like,
Yeah, that's had to be what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. She's just trying to get her boyfriend in.
And he says something to his mom. They explain why. You know, I got to keep my ear to the ground here. What's happening? Oh, great. They never explain how.
Yeah,
Like, you have the internet.
Yeah, why?
Clark.
Great. It's like
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
does
go
have
to
the
school.
internet.
He wandered the earth.
Yeah.
Like,
Fishing boats. and
Twitter.
shit.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
do you think that Clark Kent gets internet bullied when he like posts articles in the comments section? This guy.
And he's like, I can't reply. I can't reply to these comments because they'll know I'm an alien.
They won't understand you, Clark.
So all right. Final thoughts before the unanswered questions.
I think we got before the end.
Yeah, I got a lot of unanswered questions.
Like I said, I have complicated feelings about this movie because maybe it's the nostalgia for me, but this was like the first like Superman movie that really had come out when I was seeing movies. Superman Returns had come out, but my dad didn't want to see it because he thought it'd be trash. So he didn't take me and my brother. We were like 7 or 8 when it came out. It was not a great movie, but this was like the first Superman movie I got to go to the theaters and see. And so I have some nostalgia goggles on this one. And so
Visually, it's cool in parts. Yeah.
This movie is so flawed from a writing standpoint that it detracts the fantastic cast and even some of the interesting world decisions they made. But it is just so bonkers and like shoot from the hip and a lot of the continuity that rewatching it, I kind of had like a crisis of faith because Brian asked me to be on the show and he was like, yeah, we're going to do Man of Steel. I know you love that one. And I hadn't seen it in a few years. And so I watched it again for the first time and I was just like, oh my gosh, how have I? And also at that point, a lot of that really high quality Marvel stuff hadn't come. So I hadn't been spoiled yet. And I was willing to accept certain deficiencies in superhero film because at that point, you know, we're getting 70% tier movies with the exception of Iron Man and the Avengers and stuff like that. But then now I'm watching it after Endgame and Infinity War, Black Panther, and all of these fantastic properties. And I just do not know how to reconcile how much I love Henry Cavill and the casting, barring probably Amy Adams, versus how bonkers and poorly written by dudes like Christopher Nolan this movie is. Were we just giving him a pass on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I've come recently to decide that I think Christopher Nolan is extremely overrated, but that's separate from this podcast in general.
Yeah, I don't know much of his other work.
I'll still say this.
Terrible.
I think this is my favorite DC movie besides the new Suicide Squad movie.
Well, that was great. No, Birds of Prey I liked better.
Oh, and Birds of Prey. Okay, this is my third favorite.
Shazam, Wonder Woman.
Shazam was better. I honestly liked the Snyder cut more than this.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, so did I.
I'm not with you on that. Oh,
I mean,
I definitely am. At least
it's too long. It's way too long.
But it's way too long.
It was better. Like
everything's too long now.
The objective things. There's a lot more continuity to that one. Like
it's a superhero movie too. This is not.
Some of the holes that were in this were not in that.
The whole is Kal-El. Superman is boring. I understand that we all have characters that we love, and you know, some people do really get into Superman. It's the same with Captain America to me. There's not a lot there. And so Bryan Singer was the first one, I think, where like brooding Superman. It makes sense because he's an alien, But story-wise, that conflict is not interesting. Like, oh, you held some punches to some bullies. Oh, your dad, gave you some really weird and confusing ideas on right and wrong and shit. Even Bruce Wayne, even revenge makes that more interesting than anything Clark Kent has ever done.
Right. Well, yeah. And I mean, honestly, you have to. I feel like the Christopher Reeves franchise got the character of Superman closer to than anyone else has.
Right.
As much as I love Henry Cavill, like the character of Superman in this is not. I don't think Zack Snyder understands Superman at all.
So.
Well, I think
he understands.
I think that he got closer. I think he got closer later on with like the Snyder Cut and things like that, because they also, at this point, Jeff Johns was the head of Warner Brothers DC department, and he was also the head of DC Comics, like as their story chief. And so this is around the New 52 and a bunch of changes happening to the DC continuity, and they definitely tried to make this Superman a lot more like the New 52 Superman.
Yeah. And there have been times in the past where they've tried to make him grittier and darker. Even gave him a beard.
Well, I mean, they wanted Nick Cage to play Superman. Like,
they've always tried to make him edgy, and he wasn't created in that vein.
No,
I don't know. Like you said, Donner knew. He's sort of a puppy.
He's a Boy Scout.
Boy Scout.
Yeah, he's a Boy Scout from another place, and so he's confused about us in ways that, like I said, a puppy dog would be. But then these new iterations of Superman is like, I don't even know if I like you people.
I'm just
weird, like he says Batman type things. Meanwhile, we're gonna find out that Batman's doing the real work down on the ground while Superman is just tied up in his own bullshit again.
Well, Superman moves so fast he could do all these things in this movie. He could have done all the things that we ask of him to do as Superman in this movie. He could have been saving people and fighting.
Remember in part 3 when he froze a whole lake? Yeah, instead of blowing out a fire.
Instead of blowing out the fire. Yes.
He's a dick.
He destroyed the ecosystem. All right, guys. Unanswered questions. Number 1. When Kal-El was born, he had no umbilical cord. Why the fuck does he have a belly button?
Ooh.
Wow.
That's another.
There was no umbilical cord?
You can clearly see he comes out of his mom, and the next shot he's picked up by Jor-El, no umbilical cord.
What if the little floaty robot just clipped it?
Like off screen?
What if that's an electromagnetic umbilical cord? We just can't see it.
There you go.
There.
It was made out of those pins that you put your hand in.
Okay, I have no answer for that. Next.
Yeah. Why did Zod want Lois on the spaceship? Why? Why did he want Lois to come?
Anyone know who Lois is? Yeah.
Why did he know who Lois was, and why did he want her to come?
Well, maybe when he learned English by Googling everything on Earth on the ship, he saw her article. He saw her article about a Kryptonian.
Maybe he saw about a cat fashion show.
Maybe 2 Kryptonians. Yes. Amy Adams is the hottest human being on the planet.
She must be really attractive. Because Clark's been traveling around for a long time. She's not.
They've never seen a redhead before.
Yeah,
I guess not. With that,
additionally, we talked about that. Why the Army kept bringing Lois on dangerous missions.
We didn't get an answer.
Yeah, they don't stop. Yeah, it happens in Batman and Superman.
Yeah. Let's see. A lot of these we've already addressed. Why didn't? Yeah, Snyder and the Jesus parallels. There was like he literally at one point does the cross thing and falls back to Earth.
Clark is literally 33 years old.
Yes, exactly.
He's literally 33.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had one, and it is the projection of Jor-El his soul, because he seems really sentient. Like,
that's what I've been saying.
Very much a thinking and self-aware being.
Yeah.
Well, and like has a sense of humor and personality beyond like, oh, I programmed myself into a computer.
Like this thing would pass the Turing test.
Right.
Oh
Yes, it does. Even now, we can program responses and then have AI anticipate responses and almost have a conversation. But yes, this Jor-El is spatially aware. He's aware of people he's never met before. He's aware of settings and it's way more than just
God.
that. Like, yes, Cal, you are the last son. That is correct.
If you would like to discuss crystals,
hey, Lois,
choose crystal number 3.
Choose your own bed, right? But this is all, hey, Lois. She's all, hey. You seem to know me, but I don't know you.
It didn't bother me. Super alien technology could have created an advanced holographic AI.
That has to be the explanation.
That's so advanced.
Yeah,
but I was right. That has to be the explanation, because if it's not, then we're starting to think about machines and how you would make that machine.
Or we're thinking about the metaphysical consequences of putting people's souls in thumb drives.
Sometimes we dip too far that way, and the answer is really comic bullshit.
Yeah,
pretty Black Mirror, pretty quick with that.
All right, here's just one that's movie. How did the military inform Zod that they had Superman in custody and arrange a meeting to take him?
That's a good point.
Flag is
they did it the Wonder Woman way. Smoke signals.
They painted it on a sheet.
and
held it up.
They made a bunch of rocks spell it out.
Harder to get hostages out of Iran.
They wrote the screenplay.
All right, I looked at it.
Were the Kryptonians all just speaking English? Because the humans understood them, we understood, and they understood the humans, and they had they had translated their language into other languages around the world at one point.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Well,
Google Translate.
Krypton doesn't have an accent or anything.
Well, except for the one German dude. The one dude with the German accent from Krypton.
That's how we know he's a scientist.
Out of you?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a German accent. It's a scientist accent.
No, but Jor-El had been studying us, but it is still funny because, English is not one of the older languages on our planet.
No. Yeah.
Well, and Jor-El's got an Australian accent. This other dude's got a German accent. Michael Shannon sounds American. What if there's a Kryptonian out there who's just got a Gomer Pyle?
I would have been totally fine with it if just at one point Zod had turned a thing on his collar and it was now you can understand my
Marvel takes the time. It's not hard.
Yep.
Oh, his translator's not working. Right. Yeah, good.
Oh, there we go.
It's why I accept Star Wars stuff too.
Yeah.
They'll at least say it. And so if
hey,
they say
do
it,
you speak Galactic Common?
Oh, you do great. Yeah.
Exactly. If you say it, fine.
That's just address it. Just address it. Let's see. When at the end, when we get the flashback of Clark playing as a child and he had the red cape on, what was he playing? Because when I did that as a child, I was playing Superman. But what was little Clark playing?
Flash Gordon.
That wasn't
Mighty Mouse.
Thoreau. That wasn't playing. That was dreaming, brother.
Yeah, it was. You're right. He was making dreams happen. You're right. That's crazy. That is who we're all playing when we put a towel around our
a red cape. It was specifically a red cape.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But even if it was a different color.
Yeah.
In that Superman. Universe and ours, who are you pretending to be?
What superhero was he playing as? Yeah. Because does the concept of a superhero even exist prior to Superman?
I know. I was gonna say, because when I was a kid and I played Batman, I just punched people in the face. But Superman, you had to fly around.
And also, I was 22 years old, and also they said stop drinking so much vodka.
I was gonna say, I don't know.
Definitely caught a charge that night.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, how did Clark get hired at the secret Arctic government military base?
Or the Daily
Indeed, bro. It was on
Daily
Indeed.
Yeah, he was just available at the right place in the right time. Maybe he killed the other guy who was working in that job.
You got a security clearance? No, I don't.
He's like, I've done Deadliest Catch. Now it's time for Ice Road Truckers.
What? So did the gang of bullies when he was a kid go all the way out to the truck and tractor repair shop just to bully Clark? What were they doing out there?
Yeah. They were walking to the local neighborhood IHOP to hang out, Thoreau. They were on their way to IHOP.
Because where else would an alien eat but the International House of Pancakes? Because he's so cosmopolitan.
Oh God!
Can I get the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity?
Right. This episode brought to you by IHOP.
Please give us money.
Yeah, or just pancakes. I'll take that.
The pancakes are good too.
How did Lois get across town to Superman and Zod in the train station in 3 minutes? Because we saw them fall all the way
Superman
across town.
Kissed her.
There's no
So
traffic.
she was imbued with the powers of Superman briefly.
How would she even know where they were? How would she know they fell on that street in that train station?
I don't know. Lois is keyed into a lot of things in these Snyder movies that don't make any
Is that Lois or is that the Martian Manhunter?
Oh,
snap. For Justice League.
No, really?
Showing up to comfort Kal-El.
Yeah,
Darth
he's
Jar
trying
Jar.
to get kissed by that beautiful man.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh shit, maybe it's just
Lois
the
is behind it all."
Sub-zero weather." But
so
you look fine, girl.
And my final one is Superman's mom's name is Laura Zor-El. Is that hyphenated? Because L is her last name.
Yeah.
So
is Jor her first husband?
Yeah. She's Jor-El hyphen here. I didn't have a name ready. Fuck me. Sorry.
Weiss.
Like
Weissman, yeah.
That's all the ones that I have that we hadn't talked about during. So yeah, that's it. I don't know. I don't have much else to say about this. Anybody have anything before we rank it?
No.
I don't think I hated it as much as everyone else.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't think
I'm kind of with you, Thoreau, or not Thoreau. With you, Al.
Al.
It's
It's
not awful.
It didn't bother me that Lois discovered Superman before Clark Kent, and now knows. It's a break. It's a break from previous.
Doesn't make any sense.
Canon, but
that's fine. It's a choice they made. I'm more concerned with like the incredible logical inconsistencies that we find throughout it.
But anyway,
I was just bored a lot. It was more than not liking it.
I think the writing was the biggest weakness. They had so much potential for movement and emotionally gripping moments that they
It definitely could have been better.
Oh
yeah.
Well, I think it's another situation we've been in before when it comes to ranking, where like it certainly can't go below, a good amount of movies because it is a Superman movie, and I thought it looked fun a lot. It certainly didn't sound fun most of the time, but. So I don't know.
Did we put, we haven't done Thor 2 yet, have we?
No, we're not there yet. So all right. So let's look at it this way. We've got where is Watchmen? Watchmen we have at number 19, which was our last Zack Snyder movie. Yeah. I don't think it's better than Watchmen.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I liked Watchmen more than this.
Yeah. Batman Returns.
I liked Batman Returns better than this by a lot.
Oh, definitely.
Ooh.
Yeah, Batman Returns has a place in my heart.
I liked
similarly Blade. I like that more than this.
Is this better than Swamp Thing?
No. It's not.
I don't know. I think it's better than Swamp Thing.
We got
Is
Superman.
it better than Unbreakable? Really?
But
it's not.
I think it's Unbreakable.
Better than Unbreakable.
Is it better than Superman 2?
No.
Yes.
It's the same
absolutely
story.
Not. No, absolutely not. I cannot live with it being no.
No, I agree.
Hard disagree, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
But it's a generational thing.
Superman
it sounds
Returns. It's definitely better than Superman Returns.
It's way better than Superman Returns.
It's way better than Superman Returns.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think maybe Superman 2
list
just needs
now
to
that
be
I think
higher
about
up
it.
your list.
Well, probably. But
could be.
Superman, I think Superman Returns was way underrated. I absolutely liked Superman Returns better than this.
Superman Returns was more fun than this was.
I liked
because
Blade
it had like
2,
Mrs.
Mystery
Test
Men,
archetype and-
Super. I liked Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance better. I liked the Green Hornet. I liked Sky High better. I liked The Mask better. I liked the Rocketeer better than this. I liked Darkman better.
Thoreau is saying 100 in one.
The first movie I see here that I would feel comfortable putting it above is
Constantine. Oh no, because that's above the Rocketeer.
No, is maybe Superman 3 is maybe the first one I can see putting it above.
It doesn't have Richard Pryor.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, that's I could be
better
talked
than
into going
superhero
lower.
movie.
It was better than superhero movie.
Oh yeah.
I think it's better than
better
Buffy the
than
Vampire
Return.
Slayer.
Yeah, I mean probably.
I think it's
Same
definitely
with
better.
Return of Swamp Thing. I mean, we love that, but for our own goofy reasons. It's not because Return of Swamp
it's
Thing
better
is
than
great.
Fantastic Four. I don't think it's better than Hancock. It's better than Fantastic Four. Rise of the Silver Surfer. Our rankings are so dumb.
I agree. So let's go ahead.
So oftentimes when we rank these movies, we talk about like, was this good as a comic book movie? Did it execute what it was looking to do?
That's kind of what I
better
was
than
trying to
some
say
of these
earlier.
movies.
Yeah,
you know,
if nothing else, it satisfies a certain,
because it looked good.
Superman.
It looked
It's not
really
like Hero
good
at
doing
Large
what
or
it was
something.
doing.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
There's payoff that comes with seeing a Superman movie, even a bad one. Same with the Batman movie.
Yeah.
It sucks, but it's ingrained. Like, oh, I'm seeing Superman, at least that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's my opinion. I think all of you guys think it should be higher than I do. So.
I think it should be higher than you do.
Yeah.
Josh, you said you don't.
I don't think it should be. I'm wherever you want it to be. No, seriously.
Al,
I think
you
I agree
seem
with you
to
most.
enjoy this the most. What is you are on the opposite end of the horseshoe from
Yeah,
Terrell.
us. If we were not involved, where would you be putting this, Al?
Okay, so
if we were not involved, how would most of this go?
Wow. I'm trying to look at a chunk between Mystery Men and Superman 3. It's hard because
but it's not.
I could put it anywhere in between there.
Okay.
And be okay with it.
Okay, so I think this was better than Green Hornet.
I mean, okay,
Yeah,
that's
And the
Green
Incredible
Hornet
Hulk and
was
Sky
a little
High
weird.
and that string down there.
Okay.
Better than any Hulk movie.
Narrowing it down.
For sure.
I could live with it going at 37 between Green Hornet and Incredible Hulk. Or I'm sorry, 36 between Ghost Rider and Green Hornet.
Because Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance was just crazy, and I loved how bad and how fun that movie was simultaneously.
I love
Green Hornet was
I know
cool
he was almost
visually,
Superman, but
you know?
Green Hornet was one of those where we were surprised that it was as good as it was. It wasn't that it was great. We were like, huh.
I was expecting it to be much worse. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's different. All right. Good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Can we all live with that?
Yes.
Like nobody's business.
36.
All right. Let's do it. Man of Steel goes at number 36 on our big list of things that are listed. That is a wrap on Man of Steel, which means it is time to look towards next week. Next week on Harmless Phosphorescence, we are going to be watching The Wolverine.
Oh gosh. Oh, all right.
Man,
I didn't.
This is better than X-Men Origins.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't hate this one, but I haven't seen it since the theater. So
I was going to say, I haven't seen it since around then, but I like this point in Logan's life as well.
Yeah. So
Frank Miller explored it.
Yeah. So, all right, that's it for this week, guys. We'll see you next week. This has been your host, Throw Smiley. Thanks for hanging out with us. And I got to go because I'm late for my shift at IHOP.
I'm Josh Cece, and I think I'll be a zoologist.
I'm Brian Lesh, and I'm just going to fly this spaceship around town, I guess.
I'm Jeremy Reed, and I'm going to build Krypton on his bones.
My name is Al, son of Weber, and I am beyond your reach.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Later.